Hello and welcome to the news. For those of you who know me, know it's been a really long time since I've said that on a video, but I'm happy to tell you that I'm back and I found a new home in the form of Esports Central. So without further ado, let's head into our main topic for the episode. Bravado Gaming's Counter-Strike team and their recent qualification for the DreamHack Winter Open. The LAN event will be taking place in Jönköping, Sweden. I got that name so right. Between 30th November and 2nd December, where they'll compete with some of the best CS teams in the world for a prize pool of $100,000. Them qualifying for an event of this magnitude is a huge deal, and it's been something they've been trying to achieve since February of this year when they made their move to the USA. Now, a lot of you already know this, and more of you thinking, but why is Carmel saying this? Isn't he that Dota guy? Is he really qualified to talk about this? Isn't he that guy who went 0-40 in a Silver 1 rank Serie pub? I'll have you know that all those statements above are true, and I'm probably not qualified enough to talk about Bravado CS. But I might just have the most qualified man in the entire world to talk about this topic, and that man is none other than Bravado's star, Mr. Sonic. How are you doing today, lad?
Hi there. I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. I'm excited to share my perspective and what I've learned here in the US.
Absolute pleasure. So you just came off a game right now. Who did you guys play against?
We played very pro. Went a little bit shaky at the start, but we pulled it back and managed a solid tee off and closed the game out quite convincingly.
Nice. I managed to catch the last round, last couple of rounds. It was pretty exciting. All right, so let's get into this, okay? So, not the nicest question ever to a lot of other SA teams and even Bravado in the past, but it is what it is. We've had a couple of teams competing in tournaments overseas in the past, not with the greatest results. What do you think you guys have done differently this time? How has your guys' experience in America changed? What do you think will be the result in going into the next event, your guys' DreamHack Winter Open?
The main issue we had as a team playing from South Africa is that we were very isolated from the rest of the Counter-Strike scenes around the world. And that was a really big issue because it didn't allow us to practice the way these teams practiced and sort of test our skills against them on a continuous basis. Here, we're able to immerse ourselves in the scene and get solid practice day in, day out, and bring ourselves to a level and sort of judge on what kind of level we are in real time, which gives us a lot. It's a lot easier to move forward that way and sort of plan your steps and your goals and what lies ahead. So that's
Just
allows us to be where we are.
that consistent practice against like high tier teams all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great. You just increase at such a rapid rate here, and you push yourself to be among the top. It's amazing.
All right, so that's on a team level. On a personal level, how have you feel like going there? How is it different playing overseas, and like how have you learned to adapt to the sort of higher level that you have to play at all the time?
Personally, I love it, dude. I mean, I grew up being a competitor in sports and whatnot. I always loved sports. So, I mean, coming to this highly competitive environment with all these players who maybe want it as much as you or want it even more than you around you, it's just so intense and so much fun, really. So, I mean, it's great for me as a player. It pushes myself. It allows me to push myself to new limits. Um, yeah, I think my teammates would say the same.
That's epic. I mean, that's what you want, right? You guys are. It's like the perfect thing for a player to be doing what you guys are doing. It's really epic.
Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream come true, to say the least.
All right, so on that topic, okay, on dreams coming true, like everybody looks at your guys' situation and many are like, wow, these guys are getting to pursue their dreams as pro CS players in the United States, all that kind of stuff. But what are like maybe some of the drawbacks, the things you never thought about, like that you'd miss from home, or that's just been like a big shift for you, like leaving home and uprooting yourself to go to the US to pursue your dreams?
Yeah, at the start of it all, we all knew what it would entail, the sacrifices we'd have to make. I mean, it's giving up your family, your friends, a lot of your free time and stuff, and you're committing yourself 100% to your dream and to your job. It's what we want to do for our future, and it requires a lot of hard work at the moment, and a lot of sacrifice to go with it. So, I mean, day in, day out, I'm out here playing Counter-Strike, nothing else much, but I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it.
For sure. Mad respect to you guys. And what's like a silly thing that you never thought you missed from home? Like maybe a food or like something?
Biltong,
Biltong,
biltong and
alright.
clippies, biltong and clippies, and maybe some milk tart and Malva pudding and shit like that. Yeah.
All the South African
Jerky,
staples, eh?
jerky doesn't cut it. Eh? We've tried to sneak the packs of jerky in, but it's just not the same. No matter how much of
Uh,
that you eat,
all right,
just
fair
doesn't do
enough.
it.
South African
We
biltong
even
is
brought it. We
special.
brought. In fact, we brought a biltong machine along this time to make our own biltong.
How did that
Which
go?
is
Out of
great so
curiosity.
far. No, it's good. It's good because we brought the spices from South Africa. We just get the meat here, and you can buy Worcester sauce here, which you kind of coat the meat in. So all's good in that regard. Got enough to like supply us for the whole trip.
Ah, nice. So pro CS
Uh,
players and biltong making experts, huh?
yeah, two trades.
All right. So the next question, also a bit of a tough one, right? So
Yeah.
obviously you guys have had some really good times now in overseas. You guys qualified for DreamHack at the moment and that kind of stuff. But there's been periods where like there was a lot of frustration, right? Where you guys weren't getting the results you wanted. Like you guys' performance wasn't really where you wanted it to be. How did you guys like sort of overcome that? Like push through the hard times? Like what is your guys' answers to all the problems that you were facing?
To be honest, at no point did I sort of like stop believing. I think that's quite an important thing, and especially my team, we never stopped believing that we could make it. And then most of the qualifiers and things, we'd always make it to the close qualifiers and sort of just fall short or be knocked out by the team that goes on to end up winning the qualifier, which is really demotivating at times. But I think we just sort of put our heads down. We learned a lot on the journey from one another, learned how to be a family. I think that was a key point in sort of getting to the point where we are. Um, because inside the game is just, I mean, outside the game is just as important as inside the game, you know? Um, so the way we bounced back, I guess, was just we never stopped believing, and B was helping one another, and C was never looking back. We always looked forward and we always continued, and we sort of knew within our hearts that if we just put the work in, eventually we'll achieve a result, and that's what happened.
Man, it's so inspiring to hear that. Like, even though, even sometimes it was tough, you guys never stopped believing, and that's the important thing. And I like you brought up
Yeah,
the fact about like the psychological side, the mental health part of
yeah,
like esports. Because
yeah,
spoken to some Dota pros as well, and they were saying like the game is just it becomes so taxing on you emotionally and like dealing with your teammates and that kind of stuff. So it's really
yeah,
inspiring to see you guys are there for each other.
yeah, yeah. It's a big part, man. I think it's probably the biggest part. I mean, I think sports probably more than 50% of a mental game. You know, skill, whatnot comes afterwards. But if you're not in the right headspace and your opponent's in their headspace, then there's no chance you're winning that game,
Yeah, I mean,
regardless of who they are. You know?
I think you hit it the nail on the head. Like I also had dabbled in like quote unquote like trying to be a competitive sport in the form of tennis but in the past, and like it's like so much of it has to do with mental. And like even if you look at
Yeah,
it, like you see like some of, let's like a ranked 20 player playing against Roger Federer, it looks like a close game, and then when the big points come, then it's just like he just steps up. The mental aspect is crazy
100%. Yeah, yeah. And it's experience that comes with that as well.
for sure. Right, so hitting the bit of the end of the road here with this interview, I wanna ask
Oh, it was
you.
a quick one. I'm ready for more
Not too
questions,
long.
man. I can talk all night here.
Maybe I should have you on a podcast one day, then we can talk all day.
Oh, yeah, I'm keen. I'll do it. Let's go.
Already, dude. So I gotta ask. This is my favorite question. Like when you guys just qualified for DreamHack, you guys beat all the teams. You guys did it. Like what is your personal reaction? How did the team react? Like what is that experience like?
Oh, dude, we were so happy. We were pretty gobsmacked. Um, but it's sort of like throughout that qualifier, we all had this feeling that like this has to be the one, this has to be the one, you know. And we were all, I kind of like felt it before, in fact, before we won that I just felt so prepared and so ready for this qualifier. And like once it finally came, I couldn't believe it, but I could believe it, you know. It's like it sort of felt like earned in a sense, you know. It didn't really come by surprise, but I think we're all astounded, and I hope we can close out some future events. And in fact, that was the last main event of the year, was the DreamHack event. So it's quite funny how we end up qualifying for the last main event of the
Oh man,
year.
it's so amazing. I'm so proud of you guys, man. I'm sure you guys are
Thank
gonna
you,
slay it there.
thank you, man.
Like
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the plan. Coming up, we have we first got a DreamHack, and then we end up having to come back and play the minor qualifiers, and then it's the ESCA Global LAN, the Global Challenge LAN, and that's where we'll have our shot at making Pro League.
Oh, okay. That was your guys' initial goal going into
big,
the USA, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's epic.
It's our
So,
final goal.
any last shout outs or anything you want to make at the end of this interview?
Thank you to my sponsors, Alienware, Intel, Dell, Sergio Tacchini. Thank you to my family, to my friends, especially to my family for always supporting me and supporting my dream. And shout out to my teammates who I hold quite dear to me, close and dear every day.
Epic Sonic, thank you so much for your time, sir, and best of
Thank
luck
you,
in the
man.
future.
Thank you, man. Thank you, and good luck to you.
And of course, if you want to follow Sonic and his team's journey, you can find them on Twitter at BVDSonic and Bravado Gaming respectively. If you want to follow me and all my escapades, you can find me at KChicktay. And of course, if you want to keep up with the latest esports news and content, head over to esportscentral.co.za, and you can alternatively find them at Twitter at esportscentrl and Facebook at esportscentralza. Thank you and goodbye.